What's good, everybody? So I just finished a walk, so I want to do part two of that, what I did before, and I want to kind of call this, or I think I'm going to title this, should an older man get married? All that. So the last video I did, I talked about, mostly about younger men, what to expect in marriage, what marriage is, should you do it, things along those lines. But this one, I want to talk to the older man, and by older, I mean just mature. I mean probably 40, 45 and up, and that would depend on you. And I would say that maybe you've been married once before. Either you're a widower or maybe your marriage dissolved, whatever. And should you get married again, or even if now that I think about it, if you've never been married, right? Should you seek to get married at 40, 45? And when I was a young guy, 18, 19, I can remember people saying that after 40, right, you can't get married because it's not going to work because you're too established and settled in your ways. So it's always better to get married when you're young. So that would be my advice. If you're going to do it at all, if that's what you want to do, you definitely want a family and all that, you definitely should do that earlier on in life before that way you can grow together. Because if you grow as an individual, right, you have the tendency, and the tendency can be there that you will become insufferable in a relationship. You want things the way you want them. Your house is set up the way you want it, or you come and go as you please. And now you're going to bring somebody in who's going to be asking you where you are, do this way, hell, do this that way. So it takes a big mental adjustment to do that. So you're talking to, or you're talking to, or listening to a guy who was married before, and I think I got a little bit of wisdom. And the question I'm going to answer is, would I do it again? I was actually married twice. I don't really say this a lot, but I was actually married twice. Both first time was by the time it was over about 6 years. I think we lived together for like 4, and then by the time it was over, it was like 6, and then the second time was 18 years. So the vast majority of my adult life, I was married to somebody. So this is actually the longest that I've been a single person. And so these are going to be no particular order, but I'm going to start off with that. I'm a single person. I enjoy my peace. So here's why. I'm going to give reasons why an older man would not get married. Again, you're mature, 45 plus, 40, 45 plus. Should you get married or not? Here's why you shouldn't. I enjoy my peace, my space. I like it. At first, it was kind of lonely. First, you're used to sleeping in the bed with someone. And so that took a real adjustment, but I'm adjusting quite nicely. So, but the other day, my son and I went to go see a movie, Bad Boys, and I like the movie. Um, but I'm watching other people walk in and they got their significant others and they're getting their popcorn and stuff, and I actually miss that. I do miss that. So I miss committed relationship to do that kind of stuff. Well, I do miss that. But at the same time, I don't miss I don't miss living with somebody. I don't miss that. Right. So I'm enjoying my peace, my space, and all that. And my peace, right? I don't argue with anyone. I'm not fussing about this. I'm not fussing about that. Toilet seats up. You left a piece of clothing on the floor or whatever, right? So I've developed a routine. A house cleaner. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Right. And my space, So I'm actually looking to downsize. I'm actually looking to do some serious traveling. I talked about that already. So I don't really want somebody who I gotta be responsible for when I'm traveling. I'm very much a Sigma. I might do an episode about that, Sigmas and Alphas and all that. But I'm very much a Sigma. I'm good by myself. I'm good. I'm good. So um, I don't want the state involved. These are in no particular order of importance, but I don't want the state involved. And as I mentioned, I plan to travel, so I might meet somebody overseas, and they might want to get married, or especially here in the U.S. In the U.S. state, we all know what it is, and people think that there's just common law thing, it doesn't count, or there's some states that don't acknowledge common law. Let me tell you something about that. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm going to tell you, I've been around the block. I've seen some things. I've read some things, and these laws are very, very flexible. They're very flexible. You know, a law. People think that things are codified in law, but a lot of laws, in the way that we move and maneuver, is based on legal precedents, and they can start a legal precedent. I didn't mention this in the last video, but there's a video, or there's a story about a Canadian guy who was a millionaire, and he had supported his wife. He supported this woman. He made her quit her job, supported her, paid off her mortgage, traveled with her, introduced her as his wife, and all this kind of stuff. But they never lived together officially, and never had any kids. But they stayed over each other's house for a significant time. And when you read, I didn't read the actual court case. I read the news article. But some of the things that they mentioned that were problematic that the judge took into consideration is introducing her as his wife, traveling all the time, and spending a significant amount of time at each other's homes. And there was no, okay, you spent out of the 6 months, you spent 4 months there, or out of a week, you spent 4 days there. There's none of that. It's just whatever the judge decides. And so people think, there was this guy named Donovan Sharp. I actually did a video about this in my other video. He talks, he kind of alluded to that in the whole common law marriage thing. Common law marriage comes about because legal marriage and the precedents about that and the codification or the writing down of that wasn't established. So the state is looking for, by the state we mean government, the state is looking to take care of these ladies. You make a woman quit her job and you introducing her and you're giving her a life, they're going to try to make sure that woman's taken care of so she's not on state welfare. That's the purpose, and that's the point. You got to understand that, and they'll change that. So these people, so Donovan Sharp marries. He has a ceremony, which is one of the things that are involved in a legal marriage, is a ceremony and signing of the paperwork. There's another step too, I think. So he's introducing this woman as his wife, and he conducted a ceremony. Now he says we're living in New Jersey, and the marriage was in Florida, and he's going to move to Nevada. All these different states that don't recognize common law marriage. Let me tell you something, man. I don't think that's wise. I think the state is still involved. You're telling the people they're your wife. And the case I mentioned in Canada with a millionaire, he was taking his girl on vacation in Miami, Florida. So they're looking at different countries where you're doing this at. Listen, it's all a risk. And he ended up, that millionaire had to pay this woman $53,000 a month for 10 years. That comes out to mathematically like $6.5 million or something like that. Why would you? That's crazy. So what I'm saying is, I don't want the state involved. So you start cohabitating. You start cohabitating with a woman. You start introducing her as your wife. She spends a significant amount of time at your house. You're paying all of her bills. He bought her car, bought off the mortgage, paid off the mortgage. Taking care of her kids. They didn't have any kids together, but he had kids and she had kids, right? And they got together. Yeah, and they were older, right? By older, I think he was like 41 when they got together. She was like 32, something like that. You got to watch it. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you to be cautious about this type of thing with the state, and that's why that is what I don't want in my life. I do not want the state in my life. I was married twice. I was very, very fortunate. I was very fortunate. I did not lose any of my pension, and I did not have to pay any alimony to either one. Very, very fortunate. But guys who have gotten ruined and alimony and all, I want to risk it again. I know, cops, right? We have a pension, right? I know a couple of dudes are on my job who said they were never, ever going to retire, because the day that they retire, they had to give half of their pension at the time that they got divorced to their exes. So you walk away with a pension that's, whatever their pensions are. Let's just say it's $70,000 a year. You're going to give her half, 35? Or whatever it was, right? If half of what it was when the time you got married. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. What was the other thing? Alimony, child support. I don't want the state involved. I don't want any of that. I just want to be able to live. In the day that I leave you, right, the benefits that I have given you, that I share with you, should cease when the relationship stops. And we all know, listen, we all know that if it was about, okay, well, listen, you had sex twice a week, well, you got to come over and give this man. No court's going to mandate that. No court's going to mandate, okay, you clean his house, you kept his house clean 5 days a week, so now you got to go over his house and clean it 2.5 days. They're not going to mandate that. But I still got to pay you. I don't want the state involved. I do not want the state involved. That's me. I don't want any more kids, so there's really no reason for me to get married. Right? I got. Sorry about that. My backdoor camera was going off there. Yeah, I don't want any more kids, so there's no reason for me to get married. Yeah, I mentioned this before. I don't want to stay involved, but same thing with finances, right? Finances. I got no problem being a protector, provider. I don't mind paying the bills, 100% of the bills. But once if the relationship ends, I think it's completely unfair that I have to continue to pay you, and that is not going to happen to me. Now, I definitely want to be in a long-term committed relationship, particularly by the time I'm 55. So I don't know when you're going to see this, but but I'm in my early 50s right now, and I definitely want somebody to go to the movies with, to do whatever with. But I definitely want that. So those are some of the reasons that I would suggest that people that the men think about before they want to get married. I don't want any state involvement. Do you want the state involved? Particularly if you've been divorced, you've been through the child support ringer, all that type of stuff, right? Do you want more kids? Right? I know guys in their 50s who go get married, especially if they move overseas or whatever. They get married to somebody and they got a 3-year-old running around here. You're 55 years old, you got a 3-year-old. I don't want that. I don't want that. Now, I did say before, and I will stand by it, that if I met somebody who was like 35 or something like that, and she was young and she didn't have any kids, then I would you gotta give her one. That's why I see guys who are 50 years old, 50, 60 years old with 20-year-olds. What are you doing with a 20-year-old, man? You gonna give her a bunch of kids? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So, finances, you gotta be able to support them, and I don't mind doing that. But I'm not losing half my stuff. That's just untenable. And other countries are getting bad, right? They just passed some stuff in the Philippines about this whole cohabitation type of stuff. And you meet a girl, she's working at some store, right? Some storefront, store like I've been there too. Just one like a Walmart or something like that. Whatever their equivalent is there. And you make her quit that job and all this kind of stuff, and you were there for 5 years. They'll make you pay. They'll make you pay because you made her quit her job, right? You made her quit her job, and I don't think that's 100% wrong. That's just not something I want to do. I'm just not going to do that because my benefits are cut off. She still gets benefits that I don't. I don't think that's fair. But here's what I will say: if you're an older guy, right, get in shape, stay in shape. I just went for a walk. I'm gonna, I told you my routine. I'm gonna probably go home, do some a little bit later on in the day and start lifting weights. I'm trying to get 2 walks in. So if it's still sunny out and all that, I may get another walk in. I believe in the cardio and all that. So get in shape, stay in shape. I saw some posts. I follow a lot of passport bro stuff, like travels blogs and stuff. Guys who are really, really overweight in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, really obesely overweight, and happy that they got somebody on their arm, but they look sloppy, right? You got medical conditions and all that kind of stuff. Listen, get in shape before you go, and stay in shape, man. Go for walks every day, ride a bike, change your diet, change your eating. Why would you go over there? You can't perform physically. You can't. Your little soldier won't salute. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Get in shape, stay in shape, right? Eat right, exercise, heal emotionally from any previous relationships, psychologically, emotionally. If you got taken through the ringer, before you go bringing somebody else into your garbage, get over it, right? Get over your ex, get over your kids not talking to you, get over whatever you got to get through, your damage from your job, whatever happened to you, and get over that, right? Those are 2 things that I would just say, man. Don't bring your garbage in the U.S. or anyone else. Don't bring that garbage to anybody. Don't bring it to anybody. Heal from your baggage, put it in your closet, deal with it, wear the scars, get counseling, get therapy, do what you have to do in order to fix yourself so you can be a better mate to somebody else. Right? Learn from your past mistakes, whatever you made, whatever you did. If you were unfaithful, if you were an abuser, if you were an alcoholic, work on that stuff. Get therapy, get counseling, go to AA, NA, do what you have to do to get through that type of stuff, right? Heal from it, heal from it. Take the time, talk about peace and space and all that. Take that time to work on yourself. Figure out why you were abusive, figure out why you were drunk, figure out why you're addicted to drugs, or figure out why you emotionally abused her, right? Why were you doing that stuff, right? Heal emotionally, and do a needs assessment, right? I do not want a liability. I do not want a liability. If I get with somebody, you have to add to my life. You are making my life better. I know I need to make your life better because I'm going to be a financial benefit to you. But you need to make my life better. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this and being burdened down. But I got to pay this bill. I got to do that. I got to. Oh my God! Before I met you, I had to. No. You're going to bring me joy. You're going to bring me peace. You're going to everything. Everything is going to be a benefit. Everything's. I'm speaking generally here, right? Everything, and we're not going to have good times all the time. I get that, but in general, our general everyday experience, it has to be beneficial. You have to make me laugh. We have to have good times together. If you always got a problem, no. There's always some problem. No. So those are my thoughts about older men, whether they should get married or not. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Right? Did I miss anything? Hit the like button. And if you're an older guy, let me know if you would get married again, right? Do you want the state involved? I'm telling you, the state's involved, whether it's common law or not. And if you think that you can avoid it, here's another point that I want to say about this. You think that you can avoid it because the state wants family formation. They can't push it. They can't. They tried to. They talk about paying people to have babies and all the tax cuts and all this kind of stuff for marriages. They need to grow to grow the country. They need to at least, or minimum, stabilize it. And right now they're importing a bunch of people. That's why they're never going to solve the immigrant crisis. Don't let any politician lie to you that it's by design. They're going to give them amnesty. They're going to stay in the country. They're going to give them jobs. They're going to give them driver's licenses, just like they've been doing. There's no plan to stop it. Don't ever believe these politicians. Even Trump. Don't believe it. There is no plan to do it. They should do it because it would drive up prices. It would drive up wages. Absolutely. It would definitely drive up wages, but they don't want to do that, right? They're going to pay somebody cheaper to do it. Gosh, I went on a rant there for something. I can't remember what I was talking about. So, yeah. So things change. Things change, and they make these laws, common laws, and they adjust them as they go along. Common law wasn't a thing until it was a thing. Marriage wasn't, these laws and codifications. I talked to you about the millionaire from Canada. In the article that I read, talked about that the judge cited different case laws, right? Nothing written down on paper, just different case laws about how long people had to cohabitate before they can get spousal support and things along those lines. So I'm saying that if you think that you can avoid it by just living with someone or not having ceremony and all this kind of stuff, they'll fix it because they don't want the, I was going to say women, but they don't want the lesser financially stable person in the relationship to now be destitute because you broke up. That's what they're looking at. They don't want people on social welfare rolls. So they're going to do what it takes to make sure that people are not in social welfare rolls. So therefore, they got to tax the man. They're going to do that. Does that woman deserve $6.5 million? I don't think so, but that's what they're going to say. So be careful. I'm just saying be careful. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just telling you to be careful. And if you think you can hide behind this different type of stuff, you might be wrong. So those are my ideas. I don't want the state involved. I don't want any kids. I would like my peace and my space. I want my finances to stay mine. And I don't. I'm a very giving person. When I was married, right, I always, except for maybe my birthday and Father's Day, I always paid. It wasn't even, listen, baby, let's go out tonight. It's date night, the weekend, whatever. Let's go to the movies. I'll buy the tickets, and I got the tickets and the popcorn. I always did. We go to a festival or whatever. I pay entry fees and bought the pretzels and whatever when we're in there. I have no issues with doing that. I'll do it. I'll continue to do that. No issues at all. But once it's over, I still got to pay. That's untenable to me. That's untenable. I'm not doing that. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Anything I missed? Would you, as an older guy, decide to get married? If so, why or why not? And if you're a younger guy, what do you think about this? Right? You're younger. You're in your 20s. What do you think about these older guys? Should they get married again? 40, 45, 50? Think I should do it again? Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Hit that like button.